go test out the Talon a little bit more. I put the 38s on it because that's the tire size I really prefer on a Talon. That'll dig a rut in no time. To show you what it looks like when you got 8-inch portals and 38s and you just totally bury it. Nice. I wouldn't even say that's totally buried though, because the A-arms can keep dropping down. Actually, no, they're sitting on the rut because it's a hard grassy rut. That's quite the rut. We're just gonna climb right up it. Woohoo! She bad. You're noticing I'm not using the i4-wheel drive. I don't need it anymore, right? So why limit the power? Use the 4-wheel drive override. I could get rid of this button, but I probably won't. If this switch ever fails, I have a backup. There we go. That's a good way to stress everything and feel it out. So that's working good. Let's see what this side looks like. That's what it is. I'm experiencing a delayed disengagement from my front diff 4-wheel drive. So it was in 4-wheel drive right there, even though the switch wasn't flipped. So let's engage it again. We're definitely in 4-wheel drive. I'm gonna unhook the switch. You see it's still in 4-wheel drive. So it won't disengage even with the override until you let off the gas completely and roll a little bit and then get back on it. That's good to know. I never noticed it before. Oh yeah. That locker eats. That's outstanding. All right, so just did some testing with the Torq locker on this monster with the 38 Tracci Aztecs. A couple things. Number one, totally transforms the machine. You know, in certain situations, it's 100 times more capable. In other situations, it doesn't matter. But basically, with the portals on this thing, it was 3-wheel drive. i4-wheel drive wasn't doing anything. With 33s, i4-wheel drive kind of worked. Anything bigger than 33, i4-wheel drive was just useless. You're trying to use this little tiny brake rotor, which that rotor is actually way bigger than stock. Stock using this little tiny brake rotor to try to stop the massive tire from spinning. So our 4-wheel drive is a great thing on a factory machine, but just like Can-Am Visco Lock or Crisco Lock, you put bigger tires, it stops becoming useful. One way this is better than Visco Lock is that you can change a brake pad way easier than you can rebuild a Can-Am front differential, trust me. But anyways, so it worked really well. One thing I noticed is that because of the way the locker engages and disengages, it keeps more of a bind on the front drivetrain, so it doesn't click in and out of 4-wheel drive as easily. So you have to actually, you know, to engage 4-wheel drive is pretty immediate, but to disengage it, you have to actually kind of hit the switch, let off the gas, get back on the gas, jiggle the wheel a little bit, then it fully disengages. I don't know if it was disengaging slow before and I didn't notice it because without a locker, it's still easy to steer in 4-wheel drive. But because the locker locks in so hard, you definitely notice when you're in 4-wheel drive now. So I was a little more careful to give it more time to disengage. Once I figured that out, no complaints. I just really beat on it, let it hop, let it eat, etc. No issues, no popping or bad noises. I'm surprised that I didn't break one of these shitty Super ATV ball joints, but it worked good. So hope you enjoy the footage. Obviously, we're going to put it to the test on a big ride, but before I do a big ride, I like to try to abuse it on my property because it's a lot easier to get it to the garage when it's, on the other side of the yard than it is 4 miles back in Holopal. So, but so far, so good.